Hey everyone, welcome to another week of 185 Miles South. This week we're going to do another episode of Talkin Nardcore with Joe and Stu, and it's going to be awesome like every time. If you want to support the show, please like, rate, and review wherever you listen to podcasts. And I've decided if you guys can get me to 150, I think they say it's a rating on the Apple Podcasts, I will do a deep dive on Fugazi. How about that? If you want to go the extra mile and support the show, you can become a Patreon. You go to patreon.com/185 miles south and become a monthly contributor. And those are the real American heroes, man. It's about that time. I think I should go through and shout out to everyone again. And in the future, if you guys want me to shout out to someone else, like your mom or your cat, let me know. And I will do that instead of your name. I know some people are uncomfortable. But this is alphabetical. But no, I love you all equally. Although this first one I might love more. And it's the main man, Adam Madball Heckman. Much love. We got Adrian Gonzalez. You got to check out his band Tuning. Fucking hold it down, NorCal. Albert Moreno. We got Albert Moshard. You know you want to buy that Death Rays clothing shit. So Google that and buy some Death Rays clothing. We got Alex Pion. We got Andy Diehard. Check out Ill Communication. We got Anthony McCullough. Basically the only guy buffer than a 1998 Dawn. Alex Lewis, the legend from By All Means. Roger's first band. Hell yeah. We got... Ben, I love you. I can never pronounce your last name. Ben Nahom. But stay strapped, brother. Bobby Wilcox from the mighty River Bottom Nightmare Band. We got Brian and David Stallworth. That's Civil Conflict and Family representing. We got Byron Serta. We got Carl Valdez, the legendary original drummer of Ill Repute. We got Casey Weisenbacher. We got Charlie Alvarez. You got to check out that new Warriors record. It just came out last week. Order that shit. It's fucking awesome. We got Chris Holden. That's the original bass player of In Control. Hell yeah, Chris. Clayton Morris. We got Corey Williams. Fucking LA hardcore legend. Daniel Rochin. Much thanks to you, brother. Appreciate the generosity. Dan Sant of the podcast 400 Miles North. We got David Rivas of Marlboro Records fame. Donovan Coffey. He's the man. He's coming up on a future episode of this Talkin Nardcore. We got Dustin Vogel. We got Eddie Numskull. Also coming up soon. We're going to interview him in January. Emil Gilmanov. Garrett Eli Georgopoulos. Got the mighty Greg It Back, a.k.a. Beavis. We got the podcast's favorite couple, Steve and Heather Wailea. Congratulations on the marriage, guys. That's awesome. Wish you all the best. We got Jacob Mendez. He's holding down the Nard in Denver. Got Rob Moran. If you're in San Diego, you got to go to Heartwork Coffee. If you don't, can you really say you came to San Diego? We got Jason Campbell. We got Jason Neal. We got Jeff Hershey, the man from Night Demon. Joe Rivas, the legend, also episode number 1, and also on this podcast this week. John F. We got Josh Belcher, my brother from another mother. We got Matthew Kearney, Max McDonald. You got to buy that No Motive and The Sadness Prevails, just got re-released. You got to pick that up. It's been out of press for like 20 years. It's like a $50 record on Discogs now. So buy that repress. Maybe, I listen to it all the time, but maybe flip it in 10 years and get paid. You got Mike Paras, Nico Adair. We got the legendary Pika. Rick Sakamoto, Doghouse Forever, dude. You got Robert Cole, Impeached, represent. You got Ryan Spelesi. You got Sergio Chavez. You got to check out his band, The Eulogy. They're fucking awesome. And you're gonna be fucking awesome when you got the greatest American hardcore songwriter of all time in your band, right? Skylar Maloney, Stuart Wilson, Omega Point. Check that shit out. And also check this podcast out. What's up, Stu? Wes Woodring and my main dude, Michael Wolf. If you're in Portland, go to the Fishwife and have Micah cook you a meal, man, if you're lucky. Hopefully he's working that day. That's all. Thank you so much, guys. I know this is a long intro, but doing a project like this is very hard to get going. And, you know, you think it's going to be kind of easy, but you end up dumping like a ridiculous amount of money to get going. And so I really, really appreciate all the people that can keep this like really close to like a break even for me right now. So you guys are keeping it going, because I don't know if I could have gone this long if I was losing a few $100s a month like I was for the first handful of months. So thanks so much for your support, and let's hit the show.
"185 Miles South", a hardcore punk rock podcast.
What's up, everyone? On this week, we're back. We're doing Talkin Nardcore with them Nard boys. Episode 1, the legend Joe Rivas.
Phantom Rivas.
Yeah, man. And Stu.
Hey.
A future legend.
Hi, everybody. Okay.
Yeah, and Stu Wilson. We're back. This week, we are going to talk about what we consider the Hall of Fame of Nardcore. We're going to briefly do the 70s, and then we're going to do the 1980s. And then the next time we get together, we'll do the 90s. Also, after we do this, we're going to interview Becca
Porter.
Yeah, we're going to have Becca Porter on. And she's going to talk about basically being punk rock in the late 70s and the early 80s, and basically going to shows in Oxnard area, LA area, working at BYO in its inception and like through the 90s. And it's really rad to have like another outside perspective on all that old school stuff.
And a woman.
Yeah, and a woman in the heyday of punk and hardcore.
Yeah, she's awesome. So that is coming up after we bullshit on all this legendary stuff from our home scene. So go ahead.
And Storytime.
Yeah, and we're going to start bringing in a segment of the mighty, mighty Forrest, and he's going to come on and tell us a story every time, too.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be something. We hope you all enjoy it.
Lots of laughs.
That's right. The LOLs will be had. Let's briefly talk on the 70s, because we are going to include... Okay, well, first off, we're doing the Nardcore Hall of Fame, so hit the fucking trumpets. All right, to start it off, we are going to induct the second Rotters 7-inch, which is Sink the Whales. Now, the first one, the Sit on My Face Stevie Nicks, is maybe more famous, but...
It's a great title.
It's great, and the song is good, but the song Sink the Whales is a fucking amazing song. It's an infectious, like, late 70s punk song that can hold up against basically, you know, anything from the era. It's tongue-in-cheek, it's awesome, it's drivey. It's just a classic song. So for our area, they're a band. They're like a original 77, 78 punk band from Camarillo. And so we're inducting that. Let's move on to the 80s. And 4 7-inches. Mm-hmm. Let's do 7 inches first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Joe, go ahead and tell us what we got.
You want me to read all of them?
No, let's do one at a time.
We'll each take one.
Well, you can just tell us, and then we'll riff on them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So first, we decided the RKL "It's a Beautiful Feeling"
Yeah.
7-inch
Oh, dude.
is in the Hall of Fame. The Nardcore Hall of Fame.
Yes, and this is 1984.
Yeah.
Yeah, so RKL starts just basically like maybe a year after everyone else, right?
Yeah.
So because we're the big four of Nardcore proper are doing LPs in 84,
yeah.
RKL is doing their 7-inch in 84, and their LP comes out in 85.
Yeah.
But this thing is ripping out the gate
Yeah.
of like just next level shredding for young kids in a 7-inch.
Yeah.
And Santa Barbara area.
Yeah.
So, or Montecito, Santa Barbara.
Montecito.
Kind of scattered about there. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it's going in. Any words on it, Stu?
Dude, like the art.
Oh yeah. So let's talk about that. The is it the debut of Dan Seitz? Is he known for anything prior to this? Do we know?
Flyers, I want to say prior.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so too, but maybe some Section 8 stuff too.
Okay. But this is like
kind of a few of the guys' bands prior to the RKL. Yeah.
sure, but this is Dan Seitz laying down some artwork which becomes completely iconic.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for sure.
Just
Why is
why?
such an amazing song
yep.
for in them being as young as they are, and like how perfectly structured that song is, and in all aspects, you know, the musical staging that they do throughout it, the change, the end, like everything about it is just phenomenal. That's the whole 7-inch obviously is super good.
Yes.
But that song just
It's a standout.
Yeah,
it
for
just
sure.
stands out.
Yeah.
That and like Tell Me the Truth, the intro to that song, I fucking love.
Yeah.
The drumming. I feel like this 7-inch and then the LP they do after is like a blueprint, I think, in terms of hardcore. Like, it's fast. Bomber's drumming is unreal. And just the riffs, I think just like the song structures too. It's all just, it just lays it out for a lot of my favorite bands, whether or not they take direct influence from it. But I feel like it's the most hardcore sounding hardcore record
Of them. Of
of
RKL.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely the most straightforward, and then the LP as well, which we'll get to. Because I think that they just go fully fucking buck wild on the 87 record.
Oh, dude.
On Rock and Roll Nightmare, which I think is their apex.
Yeah.
But we'll get there.
Yeah.
So, RKL 7-inch, it's going in Nardcore Hall of Fame.
Yep.
What we got next?
How about the False Confession self-titled?
Let me hide myself in you. Let me hide myself in you. Just as I am without one sleep, but I do it.
Yeah. Now, this is a band. They're still playing. They're still ripping. But as far as output, at the time, they did this 7-inch, and they did the song on Nardcore,
Which is
also on the 7-inch. And I mean, maybe they're on one of the comps. I can't remember. I didn't go look. But
I don't.
you don't think...
Discogs doesn't say so, but that doesn't mean they're not.
Yeah.
I just can't remember because there's so many Mystic comps. I just can't,
Yeah, I should have pulled everything out and looked. But
I can't remember that anything else is on.
yeah, so this is just... It's the standalone contribution
And then
of
this
False
is the
Confession.
demos, but that's much later. Than
Yeah,
it
the
came
demos
out, so.
came out a couple years ago on LP, and they don't touch this. This is like solid,
pinnacle
perfect.
stuff. Yeah,
It's the same stuff that like
they took a lot of time crafting these songs. Not to say that the demo songs aren't good, but these are the cream of the crop of those songs.
yeah, it's rivaling what Dr. No's doing at the time.
Yeah.
You know, it's I think there's a
agree.
lot of like the D beat love in all those early Oxnard guys.
Yeah.
And this is hitting kind of on the fringes of that. Like where Dr. No kind of went full in that way. This is like just on the fringe, but it's so infectious, so catchy, so driving.
clean.
Yeah, clean sounding. You hear everything.
Yeah. The recording is fucking great.
For a Mystic recording, it's got to be one of the best ones.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, for sure.
So, but yeah, so it's in there, and I love the artwork.
Yeah, and there's
dude.
back to the recording. There's like not a ton of that the Mystic echo chamber stuff going on it. So yeah,
If someone knew how to use a blanket this
it's
time,
really clean. Yeah, maybe Scott. I don't know.
yeah,
And then it ends up with a piano. Fucking sick.
dude, it's like a mini LP.
Yeah.
Like it takes you on a ride.
Yeah.
Like for a 7-inch, which is usually like kind of like the next step past the demo. This thing is like well thought out, takes you on a fucking ride, and like it's a satisfying listen. Like of you get a full perspective of this band. I wish they would have done an LP like 1 year later. It would have been so interesting.
Yeah.
Because they could have gone in so many directions, right?
Yeah, they could have.
So
Yeah, but Fred, joined Dr. No right away.
Sure.
Pretty much some of the songs, I think, ended up in Dr. No
yeah,
as Dr. No songs.
we'll have to
with
get him
different
soon.
lyrics and what have you. Yeah.
We'll have to get him and narrow down the whole story.
Scott and I can't remember who else right now. Started the band The Rain, and that was their immediate project afterwards. Scott got really into learning his musical craft. So I think that was the end of it for him. But anyway,
So maybe just a perfect storm.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, it's just it's a perfect snapshot of that early '80s. Not one of the big four,
Yeah.
although they're on the edge of that. Yeah, I can't not put them in.
I just gotta say you gotta
That's
have
one of the
you
most
had to
important,
had to do an LP.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just feel like the LP is the
the benchmark for
kind of
Okay, but this 7-inch is definitely in the Hall of Fame.
yes.
That's why it is.
Yes.
Yeah, and we got one more 7-inch.
Okay.
What do you think it is?
It is Dr. No, the Burn EP.
To the blood we trod, all in the name of God. What a crusade 85. Mainstream monster media, the menace of modern minds. They'll propagate, then terminate. A hazard death that touches me right between the eyes. You will learn to watch it burn.
Which is probably the greatest Nardcore 7-inch there is.
Yeah.
Just the song alone.
The song's so ahead of its time. Just the riffery.
It's the perfect Dr. No song.
Yeah.
I think it's the best Dr. No song.
Every song on that 7-inch is deprogrammed. Obviously, Watch It Burn itself. Ice House.
House.
I mean, with that, Kyle's has that weird effect on his voice, and it's just everything about it is so good. Fast. I'm pretty
All
sure
fast.
that's just a 3-piece too. I think it's just Kyle, Ismail, and Rick playing on that too. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that's between Plug and Jesus and well, I know it's between Plug and Jesus and This Island Earth before Fred came back, but maybe he's on there. I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah. It's got to be there. So let's talk about the white elephant that it's so hard to leave off.
In my opinion, the best 7-inch
What?
of the 80s. Or is that what we're talking about?
Well, I'm saying the white elephant in the room is that we're not putting Lana No Toilets in.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
But you
So,
think that's the best 7-inch?
in my opinion, yeah.
Of all, then we should put it in.
Well,
You are the legend.
Yeah, you
guys
can
don't
overrule.
want- you guys don't want it in.
I was gonna say Rat Pack, but that's just me.
Yeah.
I love the Rat Pack 7-inch too.
Yeah.
I just
Both of them.
I think that the Eurepute LP is so much better than this, and I almost want to put this in for Sleepwalking Alone because it's like amazing song,
Amazing.
but the record is it's just not what I don't know is I don't know. It's Hall of Fame.
So here's my take. The songs are amazing. There's so much energy and power behind all of them, and the performances of everybody in the band is like on par, and they're children when they do this. Teenagers, and my one. And this is the drawback for much of that Mystic stuff too, is that the recording is terrible. Tony's tone is just
That tone, though.
terrible,
It's like the worst guitar tone.
and that's not his
ever.
fault. But they just didn't,
No, I know, but that's
But
the
then,
thing.
but then you listen to the False Confession one, and then like how much?
I know, but that's the thing. I want to.
Yeah.
I want to hold our Nardcore Hall of Fame standard to the standard that I would hold
Yeah,
other
but-
stuff to, and I just think that like the 7-inch is not there yet.
Yeah,
You know
but you put that
what?
Rotter 7-inch in, so
I think it's a great 7-inch. You didn't. You could have shot it down. Are we yanking it?
no,
Are we yanking
no,
the
no,
Rotter
we're not.
7-inch?
We're not yanking it.
Well, it's the only thing that came out in that decade.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean they did the 2 7-inches, so I don't know. I thought it should go in. I think that song is insane, and it's just a 2-song 7-inch. Like it's a 45.
Yeah,
You know. So yeah, that's it. Sorry, dudes.
Sleepwalking Alone.
Yeah, I mean maybe it should. I just think that like
So
They-
it's an honorable mention for me. That's how I have.
well,
it, on
it
my
would be
list.
it would be the highest possible honorable mention. It's amazing,
Yeah,
and it sounds better on clear vinyl.
does it?
Yeah.
I have a
But it's-
first
it's my
press.
favorite.
That's the only first press I have of anything.
Yeah,
Outside of my Jawbreaker records, but
I think I have every variation of the Land of No Toilets.
yeah.
Sounds good on blue also.
Flexing, dude.
I'll display it.
This guy. All right. So
So move on to the LPs.
yeah, let's
80s
go to the
LPs.
LPs.
Yeah. What's first?
Nope. I'll repute. What happens next?
I've been done it before, I know how to do it then. Just walk away, don't listen to this stupid shit. You're so full, so full of prejudice. Nonsense, rage of absurd ignorance. Are you the best job that I've made? Wait!
Yeah. I mean,
Here we go.
let's go into it. It's like a perfect LP that nothing ever sounded like before or after.
The first
But-
time the symbol is used
On the knuckles
on
or on the back?
the back and the writing on something that's for mass consumption. It was on flyers and people saying it and spray painting all over town.
You're saying the
But-
Nardcore
the
sign.
Nardcore sign, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, as Stu pointed out, the Nardcore on the knuckles.
Well,
they're actually written out.
Zoomed in. The amount of times that fucking little
It's there and there
Nardcore
again.
sign has been zoomed in and used is unreal. Oh, who did the that 3D one on the back? Who drew that? Do you
I
know?
don't know.
Because that thing's rad. I had a Stalag shirt with that on the back. I lost that shirt. Fucking bummed.
I would think Jaime, but
Yeah.
or Gilbert. I don't know. I mean, I would assume Jaime. Yeah.
Okay.
But
It's
honestly,
sick.
I don't
It's
know.
fucking tight.
It should have blown your mind.
Because he did the cover, so
Yeah. The cover art's fucking...
yeah.
The cover art alone.
So the art is great. The pictures are fantastic, and it's just enough music that it's like the perfect amount of
Yeah,
songs.
and they have like some straightforward like hardcore bangers, like Fill It Up.
yeah,
And then they just have like
or Wayward.
songs that go like totally wild, like What Happens Next, where it's like this is just like a blast
Yeah.
of energy, or Nardcore again, a straightforward like
Yeah.
hardcore song. And then you got the GOAT song Book in his cover.
Yeah.
I mean, musically, lyrically, fucking perfect. It's like one of those songs where it's like, if I wanted to show someone why I love punk rock and hardcore music, I could give them that one song.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're going to get a little bit of everything in here.
Yeah.
You know, it's just one of those perfect songs.
Yeah. I think, you know, my brother and I played that for my mom because she was interested in like, okay, well, what's this punk rock stuff you guys are listening to? And so we played her that, and we played her Intense Energy from Aggression. And, you know, she like listens to those, you know, reading the lyrics and like, hey, this is actually...
Yeah.
This is not about, you know, what was being fed to her through television that these punk rockers are all, you know, shooting drugs and, you know, that's all it's about is just, you know, chaos. It wasn't. There was some substantial meaning to what those were trying to say. Now, obviously, Intense Energy is about skateboarding, but that made her also feel like, okay, well, they're talking about stuff that's fun to them
that they like.
Well, and I mean, the Starlight Chorus, right? It's a way to release intense energy.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm releasing my energy by doing this instead of getting in fights, doing drugs, whatever.
Now, maybe
right?
the reality of the situation, for at least in the aggression case, is that, you know, maybe they were actually doing that other stuff.
And skateboarding helped them.
But at least they were
But what you put out
putting forward a positive message.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What you put out to the world is still like there was a consciousness in the lyrics that it's like here's a different way to be, you know. And sometimes like you need to, you know, this is a terrible metaphor, which I'm sure Daniel will love because he loves all my metaphors, even when they're fucking great. And this is a bad one, but it's like how they kind of say that, how they say
Is this about Fugazi?
No, but dress for the job you want, not the job you have, you know. I think that lyrically sometimes it's like that too. It's like, hey, I might not be living the perfect life. Maybe you know you have drug problems, or maybe I like, you know, maybe you are a little prone to violence, or you have a temper or whatever. But it's like, you know, get out and skateboarding, kids. Like, you don't have to live like me. Focus on this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I like that, but that's a different record. But it's okay. We can talk about those both together.
Yeah, well, because it's also on the list. So
yeah, but let's finish out on the ill repute.
Yeah.
What happens next? You guys touch on the artwork, but let's just talk about how iconic the artwork is.
Yeah.
I mean, to be black and white and just be so iconic and amazing,
And just the font, like the ill repute font, can never be replicated. And even the what happens next in the lower corner.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck is that?
Kind of
in like
It's
a
like
shape
that could never be replicated.
Yeah.
is so cool.
And then the Serbian team, basketball team that stole their thing and made that huge banner. And you never seen that?
No, we'll have to show us.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's rad. But and then also like the 3-dimensional Nardcore sign on the back.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I made a banner of that. Vince and I did. It's fucking huge.
Yeah.
And I think Ceremony played at Rock City, and the singer wore it as a cape.
Oh, that's sick.
It's tight.
We should send it to Croatia the next time we play Serbia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then
You guys, front cover or back cover, guys?
we're skipping. We just didn't mention the actual song, Oxnard.
Mm-hmm.
It opens with, dude, it's fucking wild.
Yeah, for like, you know, to not be a big city and then have a band talk about your town.
Yeah,
it's kind of
blatantly.
like, yeah, it's cool, and it's definitely like, I mean, definitely influenced the three of our bands, right? We've all sang about Oxnard.
And that, and even the secret lyrics part.
Yeah,
It's like that influenced In Control
yeah,
on its own, which is cool.
Yeah.
yeah. Although I was disappointed to know that he didn't really have lyrics.
Yeah,
I mean, he's singing lyrics, but he doesn't remember them, and they changed
He
all
just
the
changes
time.
them.
That's cool, though.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. But
I mean, that song is been influential. I mean, just on the pod, you know, Ryan talked about that being like what got him into punk. Jeff talked about that being what got him into punk.
when they stole each other's stories. But yeah. I mean, it certainly helped solidify to me that this is what I wanted to do. That there's these guys singing about my hometown, the town that I live in, that I'm growing up in, and then there's a song about it. Like, what is this about?
Yeah, it's the reason why I
So
never.
it made me more quizzical, And I already knew them. I didn't realize that these are guys I know already.
Yeah,
So-
and there's a little something to it. If you wanted to go deeper, it could be more about like it's loving yourself and where you're from, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like and being proud of like whatever you got, make
Yeah.
it work for you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's probably the reason why I never claimed SoCal hardcore. You know what I
What
mean?
does
Like,
that even mean?
like I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you're from some random town in the IE or you're some I don't know if you're from Blythe, like maybe but fuck it, I'd claim Blythe hardcore, man. Make it work.
Life hardcore would be hard, dude.
Well, that's why fucking Die Hard Youth is the shit, right? It's like
Yeah.
they always claim Tehachapi.
Yeah,
That's tight,
and that makes them like,
Yeah.
we're here. This is us.
Yeah.
I mean that's always been a kicker for me. That why I enjoyed
they had a
that.
symbol, too.
Yeah.
because they owned it. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, even regardless of what you think about the band, if you wanted to just look at a map and do hardcore history and say like that town, who came from there? There's a lot of towns you can't name someone from.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because maybe they just, I don't know, they just claim the biggest metropolitan city they're closest to, right? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
or NorCal or SoCal or whatever. But dude, you point at Tehachapi, I can name a hardcore band from there.
Yeah.
You know? So that's sick. But cool. And also we gotta mention that Carl's drumming is like this is the album. He has a very unique style. And this album is just really suited for that style.
Yeah.
It's like it's loose enough that he can get loose enough, and it's tight enough that when he needs to hone it in, he hones it
He's
in.
flair.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But it's like some of these songs they just allow and again, I feel like talking about music on this podcast, I feel like I'm always dialing in on things that are kind of just like a glimpse in time that can never be recaptured.
Yeah.
Like nothing sounded like something before it or after it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, this is one of those.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's only 1 year after Land Among the Toilets. It sounds light years ahead.
Totally.
It's completely different. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then, of course, they never sounded like this again.
Yeah. Carl's drumming is phenomenal. Jim's bass playing, like how clean it sounds.
Yes.
It cuts through, especially in like Book and Its Cover, but even in like Wayward or whatever. It is inspirational to so many other bass players that have come since then. Like that's that in Tony's guitar playing for that matter too, in John's vocal delivery for that matter.
Sure.
Like every single bit of that is the groundwork for everybody else thrown in with the rest of these records we're going to get to here in a minute. But
Yeah, because this is also John taking the step and just like going for it instead of singing along with the guitar.
Yeah.
So it's him
Oh, dude,
really coming
voice
into
cracking,
his own.
like everything, and
Yeah.
they kept all the takes, and
Yeah.
it's just like
So raw, so
Yeah.
good.
yeah,
So
yeah,
what happens next, dude?
I love it.
Stellar 13 happens
fuck with
next.
it. Yeah, well, we should do the aggression because we already started talking about it.
Yeah, we'll
Let's
just
go.
jump to aggression. Don't be mistaken.
Zombie, yeah, it's so boring. Not what to do. 3 o'clock in the morning. Not what to do. Listen to it on the radio.
Okay, so now of all these LPs in the 80s, this is the earliest one. 'Cause this one's 1983.
Yeah,
And it's
On
one of
BYO.
two that's not on Mystic because it's on BYO. And probably the most straightforward, traditional punk of all of them, right?
What is
Like
I mean,
like a mid tempo, more of like a Black Flag, like I don't know. You don't think so?
no, but
I would say it's,
keep going with that. And then
It's just more of a-
convince me that would.
well, no, I would just say it's like more of a traditional punk rock in the formula of like what early '80s California punk rock sound like.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like
but
it's
like,
closer to like the Adolescence or
Adolescence, Circle Jerks, yes. Black Flag, I don't know, because there's so many, those break
Well-
stops and all that weird stuff that Greg would do.
sure,
So,
but the down strumming and the mid tempo and
yeah,
being drivey and
Yeah.
not breaking into the fast stuff. Although they do
Yeah.
have the outliers,
yeah,
they do a couple like fast songs.
yeah, for sure.
But the majority is mid tempo, drivey SoCal punk
yeah, yeah,
and slaying the style.
yeah,
completely.
Like knocking it out of the fucking park.
yeah,
So catchy. Again, if you want to like dial into everyone's playing, I mean, Henry's guitar work is out of this world.
yeah. Henry,
And Mark's singing is like,
I have 2 notes for this. It says skateboarding and cat killer solo. 'Cause- Dude, that's so. Oh my god, it still gets to me to this day. When he breaks it, meow, meow,
Yeah.
like it's so fucking amazing. I want to cry, especially now because he's gone. And
Yeah.
and we lost Henry, but
no, he's
Yeah.
amazing.
yeah,
For guitarist, I mean, what a shredder.
yeah. Aber's drumming is great on this. Bob's bass playing, if it may be Henry or Mark actually playing bass on it, but I don't know.
Is that a rumor?
That's a rumor. And then Mark's vocals are just so good.
On fire.
Yeah, so good. Like you said, a wide range of songs.
It's a long LP.
Yeah, it's a pretty long LP.
Well, if you're used to the CD version or the digital version, there's a few songs on the end of it that aren't on the LP, right? Because they put on the Somebody Got Their Head Kicked In
2 of the songs.
songs at the end.
Something like that.
Okay.
Rat Race and Dear John the Letter, but they didn't put the other version of Intense Energy on,
Okay.
which I don't understand why, but
Yeah. Which is crazy because like
maybe
I
our guest can answer that later.
yeah, I always considered Dear John Letter like part of this record, even though I listened to it.
I love that
vinyl
song,
more.
dude.
Yeah.
It's like that song is so good.
So fucking good.
But
And it's a different version than the Nardcore version. So
Yeah.
so
yeah. Anyway, another
yeah,
great record that is in that Hall of Fame.
yeah.
Yeah, that
Artwork.
That was the first. Oh yeah, Glenn.
Yeah. Just
Glenn E.
skateboarder
Friedman.
Yeah, the original artwork, not the current artwork.
with the one that's just white.
Yeah.
I think Fred actually wrote to me and said that was like it was an error.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like I think it's back in press in one of the
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. So the skateboarding picture is, like that sold me on it.
Yeah.
Like
I'm sure it sold
I
a ton
gotta
of
have
people,
this, and then the skeleton caricatures of the band on the back.
That's so fucking cool.
So cool.
yeah.
What do you got?
Tattoo,
Joe's got it.
Sick.
little Henry. Yeah. So aggression. Don't be mistaken.
Yeah, Body Count was the first Nardcore song I ever heard before I moved to Oxnard. I bought there's this. It's funny because it was that skate company Sessions.
Mm-hmm.
They had a shirt,
It's in 23rd.
and it had, funny the circle how
Yeah.
it goes.
Anyway, so
But I went in to get a shirt at the skate shop, and there was had the skeleton and the cop frisking him, and I was like, I want that shirt. That shirt's rad. I get it, and I'm walking around town, and this dude's like, "Oh, aggression." I'm like, "What is that?" Go home, figure it out, and then a couple weeks to a month later, my dad's like, "We're moving to Oxnard," and I was like, "That's where aggression's from."
Yes. Yeah, rules.
Yeah.
yeah, that's badass.
So let's move on to the one that Stu said,
Stalag.
which is Stalag 13, In Control, 1984 Upstart Records. So another one that's not a mystic, and this one definitely benefits from recording elsewhere, because this recording
So good.
is so clean and so good, and it's I don't know. This one's a really hard one to describe because it just, without saying, oh, it just sounds really clean and really good. But like, I don't know, you hear everything really clearly, super drivey. It's got that old school sound, but again, like you hear everything perfectly.
Yeah.
I can't really describe it because there's like, there's reverb on it,
It's a little reverby.
It's a little
pretty
reverby.
clean.
but it's
But it's not like Mystic reverby.
No,
so-
it's not.
No. It's reverby in the good way.
It's reverb when all the tones of all the stringed instruments are represented well.
Yeah.
And again, just bangers. I mean, starting out first song, Condition.
Condition. Yeah.
You know, one of the
John's bass is the you know, all of the sonic qualities of all the instruments sound perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But John's bass on that, yeah, man, it's so good.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, here we are. Bam.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, that song can just catch you. You know, so sick.
Yeah.
Black and Gray. Everyone's favorite, like, semi-tear jerker, but like, you're my bro, but you know, it's like, do I want to slam or cry?
That's when you do the arm in arm in the pit.
Yeah, it was like the original Pennywise bro.
Yeah.
Like, I love you, brother, but don't look me in the
Again,
eye.
here's another record with a ton of like super posy message songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and but also like I don't want to say the beginning of like the youth crew thing. But
Well, okay, so I think I read somewhere that someone was claiming they were the first straight edge band in California.
in California, probably.
In California. And number 2, America's Hardcore, and number 3, Justice League. How do you think about that?
Yeah. That probably makes sense to me.
So yeah, they were the positive on that. Very, very DC influenced.
Yeah, for sure.
But like making it their own sound. So even like, I love when Ill Repute like fucks with kind of like those dark notes that are kind of like the TSOL influence.
Yeah.
And they do that also on, I think What Are You Looking For is like one of the coolest sounding songs like ever.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what is this? It's like fast and drivey, but you're like doing those dark chords, but it's not like a spooky sounding song. It's just like what the fuck is this? Like, this is like it's fucking brilliant. It's like one of those things where it's just like, I don't know, like sometimes you listen to punk rock and you get these songs that are like so good, and it's just like, it validates the way we all feel, but sometimes we can't describe, right? Like, like because a lot of people think that like, oh, this song's like great for a punk song, but put it up against like Led Zeppelin and it's like a shit song. Oh, it's pretty good for punk, right? But it's like something like that. Like, I'm listening to it and I'm like, dude, this is like one of the greatest songs, like
As
out
a
of
song.
all songs.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
because like it just validates like, oh, why do I love this music so much? Oh, it's because of something like this. Like, how the fuck do you even think how to do that?
Yeah.
You know? And so it's just like a joy to listen to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, it stands on its own, excluding the genre.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Casillas' guitar playing, his licks, his leads, I like just phenomenal. Blake driving through everything, you know. It's Harry Meisenheimer playing drums on that.
Fast.
Like with 2 weeks to rehearse to play.
Yeah. Ron's vocals, perfect.
Oh, and Ron's vocals,
Perfect.
Ron Baird, like
Like shouty, not screamy. But
that's
still like an urgent feeling.
his. I knew I could never do what John or Kyle or you know Israel or anybody else did. I wanted to be Ron Baird singing in Burning Dog. That's what I tried to do. I never
So
came
good.
close to that, obviously, but that was my intention. That was always what I was attempting to do.
Yeah.
It fell far short and was something completely different. But yeah,
No, but it's like it's what you're grasping for.
yeah.
And you don't have to be so self-deprecating.
Yeah, but you know
What you did is
I'm
rad.
I'm just trying to say that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah, I think that's great. That's like your
because
inspiration.
it had this, it was open, it was throaty,
but it still had like
but
bite.
the bite with
everything.
but he hit melody pieces here and
Yeah.
there, like where he was supposed to, and like all that stuff.
He's painting
yeah.
this. It's just like he's painting on top of something that's already rad.
Yeah,
And then again, if you want to go into the artwork, here's more classic artwork from the Hernandez brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Jumping guitar guy. How can you go wrong?
I know. It's like so simple and so good, right?
with a missing pant leg in one of the panels. That's the best part.
Yeah.
Like, oh man,
So
we forgot
rad.
that. Oh, well.
And going for the yellow, early yellow.
Yeah.
You know?
It's
Yeah,
so
the color
good, dude.
choice too. Was it like, here
McDonald's.
it's not on Mystic, it's not sounds like anything else, and it's looks completely different.
84 red and yellow, dude. Who was the fucking Hulkamaniac in the band? That's what I want to know. 'Cause that's the year he slammed the Iron Sheik and took that shit. But yeah. So, the fourth one, this is the one dearest to Joe's heart.
You think so?
I don't know. We're going Dr. No Plug in
Dr.
Jesus,
No Plug in
right?
Jesus.
Over the heavens to his lungs. My hands can sleep peacefully, but the night has just begun. Light, return! Light, return! Light, return! Light, return! Light,
On Getaway or Mystic?
Well, which one's first technically? Like, it's the Getaway.
It's
I
the same
think.
thing. Yeah, but yeah, Getaway.
So,
Sorry, Stu.
what?
Embarrassed to be flexing on my records.
Oh.
No, dude, I'm glad.
Yeah, okay. My notes say so much good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like,
And bass solo. That's my other note.
yeah, the Circle of Fear bass solo, right?
Yeah.
Unfuckwithable.
Yeah.
You know, this is a banger album. Like, if you were DJing a party where people just wanted to slam, and you could only choose one of the big four Nardcore records, I would say this.
Yeah.
Because it's hitting that beat and it's going.
There's sing-along
and it's
songs.
never fucking stopping, and it's a pit frenzy, fist in the air,
Or up your
rage
ass.
or up your ass.
Yeah.
Or up your ass. But yeah, I think this is the Rage Or album, and probably the best overall musicality.
It's heavy.
Yeah.
And fat. It's scary. The first time I heard it, I was like, oh shit.
It's just like it's a fucking unit. Like,
Yeah.
you're getting
Fast.
You're getting clobbered over the head with like a thing where we've talked on a lot of these other records about like, oh, I love the way that, the bass playing is happening and the guitar is happening, and I like the vocals and all this. I almost feel like this Dr. No, it's like such a unit that it's like the drums, the bass, and the guitar is like just all one thing clobbering you over the head.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
one
like
giant.
the instrument is Dr. No, and it just is fucking 7,000 pounds, and it just fell on your head.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
The dueling guitars between Kyle and Fred, and I already mentioned bass solo for Ismail.
The intro to Life Returns.
Sick.
It's fucking heavy, dude.
so heavy.
It's so heavy.
I mean, Life Returns is top 5 Nardcore songs for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, killer. And again, the art just I don't know, it makes you feel like you can kind of guess what the record's gonna sound like, right? Like
Yeah.
the art. I mean, isn't that great art?
Well, that and the burn art too. Like they're both
Yes.
really simple. And what's also cool with all these bands is their logos and the fonts they used. And the Dr. No, they take like it's like this fucked up PhD, like RX art. I don't know, font thing, dude. And then they have like the Jesus that you plug into the wall.
Yeah.
And they invert the colors. It's fucking scary. And it's just black, white, and then whether or not you have the white or the blue fonted record, it all works.
Or both.
Or both in Zach's case.
It's like a darker shade of hazy green.
Oh.
Yeah. And then the back cover, you know, the pictures of the band, like seeing that as a kid, like I'm all, whoa, there's like a Mexican in this band, you know?
That's repping.
Yeah.
Like
The Sarape, you know,
fucking
looking hard.
So hard, dude.
Looking hard.
Ismail looks hard as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the sweetest, kindest, most shy guy on the face of the planet. But back then, I didn't know that. You know, I see that and I'm like, oh my God, this is so crazy. That guy must be crazy.
Well, he didn't get shy until you met him in '87. Before that, he was fucking up everyone.
But yeah. So yeah.
But yeah, it's great. And like, what is good album art, right? Is it just is adding to the package, right? Of like, this is, I'm getting a feeling off this. And like, for people that enjoy tangible music, that's like a part of it, right? Like, I'm putting the record on, I'm holding the cover in my hand. I'm hoping to pull out an insert, but you're probably not going to get one in most records, you know? But yeah, you're holding, so you get the front cover, the back cover, and you just,
It's a full
like giving me a
experience.
feeling.
You listen to the record and you study the art front to back.
yeah.
So that cross
Yeah.
thing that's a Christian thing. It's not a spin-off of the drug RX.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Even harder.
because it's on a church on C Street, C in like Teakwood. There's a giant thing on the front of the church. That symbol is basically on the front of a church there.
Dude, shout out to the Garage Walrus.
Yeah.
I drove by that.
It could be Robert. It's somewhere in one of those streets up, you know,
Yeah.
north side. Anyway,
Yeah. So those are the big four.
those
And
are
then
the big four, but we still have
we got the both RKLs, right?
2 RKL records to
And,
talk about.
Yeah.
Keep Laughing and Rock and Roll Nightmare. Do we want to just talk about both of them at the same time?
Yeah, we can talk about them both at
Yeah.
the same time. So again, Keep Laughing is just them continuing like the fire they have from the 7-inch.
Yeah.
It's still a pretty similar band.
My note says, holy fuck.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of a way to look at like those first 2 RKLs and the 7-inch is just like this fucking band shreds. You know what?
Was it the LP or the 7-inch that Bomber broke his hand?
Oh, fuck, dude. We didn't even talk about that. How he broke his hand skateboarding out in front when they
Was
were
that
going
the
to
7-inch
It was the
then?
7-inch.
Yeah,
and he
okay.
recorded the
I
entire
couldn't
7-inch with a drumstick taped to his hand.
Taped.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. So, well, that's insane, right? So the drummer breaks his hand, and then to go do the record, tapes a drumstick to his hand. It's insane.
That's crazy. So Keep Laughing. Think Positive. The whole record is great, but Think Positive itself is just...
It's an anthem.
Dun, 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 dun.
Think I care about what is happening? Sure I do, but I'm still laughing where I'm from.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
Opens the right. It's like, oh, all right, what
slamming-
am I walking
you're slamming
into?
before the
Immediately,
drums.
Yeah, you're like,
and I love how it fades in too.
Oh, yeah.
Like I don't know if that was intentional or just Mystic like fucking dropping the ball, but it's fucking perfect.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's
so
insane.
good. And then the sort of it's not really a breakdown, but a breakdown at the end. And like it's just
Totally break down.
It's a mosh part.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're just there. They're, for them, I think they're just hitting like all different types of rhythm
yeah.
to get like,
Yeah.
to push the musical boundaries that they're comfortable with pushing at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so for them, it's like a rocker part.
Yeah.
Probably. But
Well, that's like
Stu's
the-
slamming.
Dude, I'm always slamming to that record.
Hell yeah. And then I think that Do you have more on that record?
Well, it's just like the way that it's all like how every song goes into each other. It's like you have the fast song with the dance part, and then it goes straight into Dead Teds, which is mid tempo the whole time, and then like Life in a Bottle. It starts out just this every fucking song one after another like leads into it.
Yeah.
And I think that was the first, because I was starting to get into hardcore around that time, and then I heard RKL, and I was like I mentioned previously, like they do these parts where it's like guitar hauling fucking ass in one headphone, and then it just like drives in with a drum roll into the to the fast part, Circle Pit, and you're slamming, and it just blows my fucking mind. The drumming is insane. Everything on that record is fucking insane.
Yeah.
I think it gets even more insane.
We're gonna get into how fucking
Rock and Roll Nightmare, like some people say this record is like ahead of its time, and I always say I'm like I still don't know if my brain is ready for it. Like this thing is like out of this world. Like what the fuck is happening there?
I didn't like it the first time I heard it.
It's I definitely think this is an acquired taste record.
Yes.
Like,
But
you will respect it on first listen because you're like, this is insane.
I was like, what's going on?
But it's like, your brain can't grasp it. It doesn't have the catchiness of like some of the songs on the 7-inch and the LP right away.
Right.
But it's just like,
or maybe ever, but that was irrelevant to them. That they played these songs that were so beyond what anybody else was doing, you know, and as you guys have mentioned, it's the blueprint for everything else to follow.
Every fat band.
yeah, I mean, it's a blueprint for NoFX and Lagwagon, right? For
sure.
Yeah.
There wouldn't be either of those.
But I mean, that's
Yeah.
but that's that's face to face, and that's
Sure.
that's all the other bands that were. I don't want to say copying them because they all did their own thing, but it's certainly that blueprint.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a mix of this record, Rock and Roll Nightmare, and possibly
And
Suffer.
Suffer.
Or-
The melody of Suffer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taking the melody of Suffer with the shredding of this.
Yeah.
The recording isn't that great.
No.
It's not that great. The bass tone's really good, in my opinion, which Balmer plays on because they didn't have a bass player. And the fucking bass parts on this record are like, he's literally just shredding the whole time. And I was reading a lot of liner notes on this, and they're like, "Oh, it's not hardcore or punk. We were literally just listening to a lot of blues and rock, like and Kiss, and just making it faster." And that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, it's my favorite record of all time. The fucking art,
Is it?
yeah,
That rules.
yeah.
What a fucking sick pick.
It like the art. They're just chilling. There's like empty like Budweiser tall cans everywhere, and they're just fucking chilling in the backyard. And like it's like a framed photo almost, and like around it is just like goblins with like fucking like beers and shit.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's so good.
And this one is on like Alchemy Records,
yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I mentioned this on another pod, but like Bomber tracked the whole thing in one take to silence with no scratch track.
Jesus.
Like,
That's like not
Well, those
like
guys, Chris Balmer, Joe Later, are such phenomenal musicians.
Yeah.
That they could do something like that. They were, probably Kyle might be the next best one. Maybe, in Casillas too, but I don't know. Those guys were phenomenal.
yeah.
and like Jason's vocals change. He kind of goes like into this more like guttural, like lower pitch, but like kind of like grimy, whiny, I think.
Yeah.
And it just
Well, how old was he on Keep Laughing?
teens, I think.
Teens, yeah.
Right, so
But
it's
this
like,
can't
I mean,
be much
imagine-
more older. 22.
Yeah.
Well, it's 2 years and a lot. I mean, 2 years can be a long time
Yeah.
in your like development. I mean, if you're talking about the difference between 16 and 18, or 17 and 19, or even 18 and 20, who knows? So
I don't know.
But the songs aren't the same as Keep Laughing. They're not this
they're not a blast, of
blistering
energy.
speed and not scream the whole way through kind of thing. So he has to do something different, and what he does is also that what'd you say,
It's kind of like grimy, whiny.
grimy whiny, which is Fat Mike and Joey,
Yeah.
and all those other just done with a bit more melody.
Right.
And then Bomber
Little bit of
sings
the
on
suffer.
Yeah. Bomber sings on a few songs, and that's kind of like is a precursor to like when he fronts the band. Like,
Right.
his voice is like fucking prime, dude. His
Yeah.
voice is so good. But like beyond taking like they take it beyond the beyonds, dude. Like like they shred the whole record and then they have a country song and then they end it with a fucking like Beastie Boys song talking about burritos and shit, and it's just what the fuck.
Yeah. Mind blowing record.
It's a great record.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel good about that.
I do too.
Please don't torch my pad for not putting that in the toilets in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I love Every Guy to a Man, and I like that 7-inch. But I don't know.
It's an honorable mention for sure.
It is an honorable mention. And yeah, I mean all of it. I like the Rat Pack 7-inch too, Stu. The first one.
You like the second one?
The other one's not as good as the first one. I like the first one. It's like really drivey. 4 more years of Reagan.
Yeah.
It's fucking. His voice is cool.
Yeah.
On that record, he's got a cool voice.
Oh, we skipped something.
We did.
Did we?
The Nardcore LP.
Oh yeah. Well, there's an important one. Yeah, the Nardcore compilation.
Because I was just thinking Rat Pack, and I'm like,
Yeah.
they got the songs on the.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute.
This is like a great American hardcore compilation.
Yeah.
Got a little bit of everything. It's a stamp in time, One area, 1984. Here's what it is. Fucking great record.
Yeah.
Great compilation.
We're not LA. This is
Yeah.
this is Nardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Oxnard,
Basically.
not LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just Oxnard, obviously, because the Routers are on here and RKL's on here.
Scared Straight from
Scared
Simi
Straight,
Valley.
But it's those are repeat songs, the Dr. No songs,
Yep.
or Dr. No song. I wish it hadn't been on both the comp and Plug-in Jesus, but
Yeah.
so be it. Go to War from Aggression.
Yeah, the aggression song.
Oh, that song is so good. That's
Hey, that's Corpus.
yeah. That's a cool song. I mean, really everything on the comp is rad. That AFU song
Yeah.
is a one-off for a band that I only ever heard one song from.
Yeah.
Super cool. Yeah, the intro, Habeas Corpus, the intro to that song is sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, the only stuff I don't like on it is I don't like those Rodder songs.
Yeah.
But hey, dude, it's no Sink the Whales. That song fucking rips. I'm telling you. But yeah, the Wash My Hands is garbage. The
Men.
yeah, the homophobic shit on there is garbage.
Yeah, that's stupid.
That's wild.
So that's 84.
I really
guess.
liked, back to False Confession, the
Feline.
putting Feline on there, which is so different than anything else on that record.
Yeah, Feline on Nardcore is so cool.
And that was intentional. They chose that song because they knew it was going to be so different. At least that's the myth, the legend. They wanted it to stand out from everything else, and it certainly does.
Yeah,
It's a great song too.
yeah. And so these are great ORP songs. These are maybe the best Scared Straight songs.
For sure. Even though both songs are the same song. They are the same song, but they're both good.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, President. Fuck.
President.
dude.
Yeah. It's not going to happen to me. Sleepwalking 75.
Oh, it is. It's not gonna happen to me, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's
It's Sleepwalking 2, but
That's like
I was
both are great. Yeah, those are all great ORP
Sleepwalking
songs.
3 is on the not honorable mention transitions.
Although that cover rips.
Yeah, of not John.
That's true.
It's
The not
John.
honorable mention is not
is
John
it?
on the cover. It's just some dude.
That sucks.
I always thought it was John. John's like, no, it couldn't be me. I never had that shirt.
Like he remembers the shirt from but if anyone does, it would be John Fanoff. So.
Yeah.
Funny, dude.
So that's it. That's the Nardcore Hall of Fame. And
1980s.
of the 1980s,
Yeah.
we coming back
Yeah.
with the 90s and maybe beyond. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see if you guys want to do the 2000s or not.
The 90s.
We could do a
The
2000s.
90s I got. The 2000s are going to need a little bit of help.
Well, no,
from you guys.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta maybe add a few demos to the 2000s.
All right. Well, yeah. Let's go over to Forrest
Okay.
for a story.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Okay.
And then after Forrest, we're gonna have Becca coming up. So hang in there. All the shit is tight.